Welcome back to the Xuan character reviews. We are on the inner circle where the true martial artists join to the game. And our next character is Wang. Now, every street fighting game has to include Taekwondo between the martial art styles available. They are out there from Fatal Fury to Taken, and even Street Fighter got its Taekwondo recently. So here we have Lee. And what to say about her design? You may remember I stated before Yuri Han had been divided into two different characters on this game, one of them being Liu Li and the other one being Li Wonhee. And that's because Li Wonhee has basically Yuri's lower body. Her pants are basically taken from her, and then this is starting to sound a little like to... Whatever, it's easy to see where they took the inspiration for Lee's costume. They changed that weird whatever it is of Yuri's upper body and replaced it with a white tank top, put the character some gloves, and that's it. Sad as it sounds, it's a pretty simple and rather lazy design when it comes to the costume. What doesn't mean it looks bad, the costume actually looks practical and fitting for a martial artist, so it makes sense at least. As for the rest, Lee doesn't have any gimmick or recognizably feature on her face or body. No accessories either or even symbols. It's a plain martial artist and that's all. I can say she is easily the laziest and most simple and generic design of the game, but that doesn't make her bad at all. Lee is supposed to be a serious fighter, but also a normal girl. Her story is, yeah, too much cliché. She is out to earn money and save her father's dojo. She is also a fighting prodigy, having earned ninth dan level at 18 years old. Boring? Maybe, but when you see her in the game, she is very likable. The very lack of gimmicks or insignias also denote a lack of ego, a person who is not really in a hardcore fighter lifestyle, but one who takes it like a sport. And she is maybe the only character of the bunch that represents this. It brings seriousness and it's believable. On top of it, she is focused on the fight, but shows a carefree attitude outside of it. No presumption at all. Not unlike Chun-Li on Street Fighter 2. So at least her personality is pretty nice, and even if you say her backstory is boring, she wouldn't care, as she is a regular girl. I also love how her biodata states she hates cooking, for example. She is, in the end, a girl like any other, a very talented one, but that doesn't mean she doesn't have flaws. But you can admire Lee as a very dedicated fighter. Lee's fighting style is a combination of techniques and animations of characters like Kim Kapwan, Chun-Li, Yuri Han, and a few others. To the point you can say she is ripping off any of those characters, especially because all her specials coordinate nicely with each other. She is also the only character of the game that can be described as a charge fighter, and I love charge fighters. Then I approve. Sadly, Lee's model in the game is not much fortunate. She looks a little too chubby with extra plumpy cheeks, and also her head looks like it is floating, like a bobblehead doll. Kind of awful when seen in detail. That's the disadvantage of using model instead of sprites, I guess. But still, more than decent if you focus on the gameplay instead of watching. Lee's move selection is pretty good, with lots of surprising attacks, that also feature cool special effects. Although they might look sometimes a little too similar to the ones of some characters from other games. The only downfall is that cancelling her commands into special moves might be a little difficult, but only in the beginning. Once you got the trick, bang, a character with great gameplay that is also a little challenging. So in a blast, you have here Li Wonhee, a character that I like and respect, even if her design doesn't call much for attention, like any of the other fighters from the roster. Although her visuals are not much stylish, the same property makes her hard to dislike because she is as neutral as any true sportswoman. I would even go to say she is one of my favorites because of her electrifying gameplay And I like her personality and her simple backstory and the little details of her way of being. That said, see you in the next random Xuan character review, and thanks for watching.
KO!